But JD Vance gets passed over to this answer about why it is they hate this country so much. And if you'll notice, they're not trying to hide it anymore. Here they're talking about SNAP benefits.
A federal judge said tonight that the administration has to fully fund SNAP. It's the latest in the back and forth, and the Justice Department said they're going to appeal it. What's your message to folks as they work this out in the courts and in Congress as we're heading into Thanksgiving?
You want to go with it?
Yeah, look, Jackie, it's an absurd ruling because you have a federal judge effectively telling us what we have to do in the midst of a Democrat government shutdown.
It's insane that a federal judge would rule against you in the middle of a Democrat government shutdown. That's JD Vance's answer to why they're going to continue to defy court orders, or I'm sorry, appeal before they then defy court orders further. That's JD Vance's answer. And that's supposed to be something that passes in this country as something that's reputable, that's democratic, that actually gives a damn about the people that just voted to kick their asses out of office. So, here's more about JD Vance being very transparent about his feelings.
The American people are unfortunately about to start suffering some very real consequences because of the shutdown. In the past, when you had a government shutdown, you would have under the Obama administration, they would lean into all of the problems it was going to cause for the American people at the beginning of the shutdown. The president has told us to keep as much going as humanly possible, but after 30 days of this thing, 40 days of this thing, you're going to start seeing very real travel delays. That's because the Democrat government shut down. You're going to start seeing SNAP benefits run out. That's because the Democrat government shut down. They should stop this charade and open up the government. That's what we want them to do. We've been asking them to do it for 40 days. It's time.
Somehow that's supposed to make sense. Somehow him talking about how he can't wait for more devastation and pressure to come on people because folks are suffering under this shutdown. They keep thinking that they can both say that they're happy about the pressure and the devastation that's happening to people, and then also send people like Steve Scalise in front of cameras to act like they give a damn and they want to do the exact opposite of what it is that JD Vance just said he's in favor of. They're appealing this court order to provide SNAP benefits. Think about that while Steve Scalise says this.
But there's nothing strong about denying food to people who are low income and who can't afford it. That's a weak place to be.
Mike Johnson's jughead ass was behind him nodding as he said it's a weak place to deny people of food and their benefits. It's weird that you can talk about how weak it is to deny people of their food and their benefits, while at the same time, again, it's going to go across the whole administration. Donald Trump says it, JD Vance says it, and so does Kevin Hassett. He also says it. So again, think about what it is that Steve Scalise just said is the weakness. And pay attention to this guy laughing his ass off about how he's doing just that.
If I'm from the government and I'm here to help, then as Reagan suggested, then you're probably not helping. and so the story, though, is that because of Obamacare, then many millions more people got a health care entitlement that has sort of changed politics slightly. And that's like one of the reasons why people are more dependent on government. I think in the end, if people really want to be prosperous, then the way they do that and get earned success and the kind of happiness that delivers a full life is that we take them off of dependency with government and give them a job. And that's what we're doing. And we're doing it in lightning speed right here.
This piece of shit just said people have health care entitlement. Think of the term. Healthcare entitlement. Remember they talked about entitlements before and how you're spoiled and you shouldn't deserve any of the things that you paid for. Now we've got healthcare entitlement. They just roll through these new terms as if it's something that should be normalized. You've got healthcare entitlement. You have this entitlement that you think that you're supposed to survive. You have this entitlement to think that if you break a bone that it's supposed to be set and you don't go into extreme debt. You've got this entitlement that if you happen to get cancer, that you shouldn't get any treatment without these millions and millions of dollars worth of treatment that's going to fall on your head. You got this weird entitlement that if you have a baby that they keep telling you to keep having at record numbers, it's just supposed to go into $20 to $30 to $40 to $50,000 of debt. That's healthcare entitlement to Kevin Hassett. We need to get people to stop being dependent on government, and they're doing it at lightning speed. You know who's dependent on government? Elon Musk, who's trying to become a trillionaire off of more government subsidies and handouts for bullshit that he doesn't know what he's doing. to rich people who gave Donald Trump $1 million and rubbed them under his chin to get more handouts from the government, to people that he keeps giving handouts to, foreign and domestic, that are doing anything that will help him feel like a big man. But you've got too much healthcare entitlement, according to this administration. They're talking about these government shutdowns and people's issues with money specifically. Check out this lie about how you're going to be able to afford Thanksgiving dinner, with no SNAP benefits.
Cost of Thanksgiving and the cost of living through Thanksgiving and enjoying Thanksgiving. For Joe Biden, it was 25% more than it is for me. At a later time, our energy costs are way down, our groceries are way down, everything is way down, and the press doesn't report it. The press reports whatever the con people say. I call the Democrats con men and women. They make up numbers. But when you look at 25% reduction in costs for Thanksgiving between Biden and me, meaning this administration, that's a tremendous number. It's the biggest reduction in cost in the history of that chart or whatever it is they do. They do a synopsis of everything. They cover every element of Thanksgiving meals. 25% down. So I don't want to hear about the affordability, because right now we're much less.
He doesn't want to hear about the affordability. So they're running with this lie about 25% less that you'll spend on Thanksgiving dinner, just specifically through Walmart, Walmart. So Walmart apparently teamed up with this guy to come up with this lie. Hey, here's a little bit of reality. From NBC News, they say Trump is right, but this 2025 Thanksgiving bundle is also smaller than the 2024 package. This year's package, at less than $40, contains 23 items. Last year, there were 29 items. The missing items this year are onions, celery, sweet potatoes, chicken broth, poultry seasoning, muffin mix, marshmallows, whipped topping, and pecan pie. Hey, it's always easy to save money on Thanksgiving dinner if you have half a Thanksgiving dinner, or don't season it, or don't put any of these other ingredients in it. How about we just have some water and flour mixed together and be like, yo, listen, Thanksgiving dinner has gotten so much cheaper. Also, the 2025 meal includes just 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, down from 2 of those cans last year. Walmart did make some additions to its new package, though. Included a twin pack of turkey stuffing, baby carrots, and 3 boxes of macaroni and cheese. Boxes of macaroni and cheese. Last year, Walmart included ingredients to make stuffing from scratch instead. They even had a press release about it. Walmart did a press release about it. By the way, there was also other elements of name brand versus like their store brand version, best value or something like that. So remember, they were bitching and complaining about shrinkflation, but they literally will lessen the number of things in your Thanksgiving dinner that they're touting as this biggest savings ever. And Donald Trump did it. Why won't someone ask him, what did you do for these, the lower number of items and different kinds of things that are supposed to be in everyone's Thanksgiving meals? No one ever asks him, since he takes all this credit, ask him, yo, it's amazing, Mr. President. What is it that you did to make this happen? He doesn't know, and he knows no one's going to ask him that. But again, I brought up those fake numbers that he keeps talking about. There's reasons why he said other folks are saying fake numbers. It's because he does this.
Furthermore, Eli Lilly is investing $27 billion. That's all. And Novo Nordisk will invest $10 billion. That's all. That's peanuts. In the United States to reshore, do a big domestic manufacturing job in the facilities they're going to spend. So Eli Lilly spent $27 billion. Novo is spending $10 billion in the United States. So they're building new plant and equipment. That's part of what will be $20 or $21 trillion this year. There's never been anything like it. I know nobody talks about it, but there's never been anything like, I would say, you would say, that there's never been anything like this ever, whether it's China or Europe, or you could take all of Europe, there's never been anything like this.
The presentation president reads through his made-up lists of numbers that aren't here, and then says, that's all? It's peanuts. He thinks that those little asides are something that convinces people with a brain that what he's saying makes sense. That's just peanuts. $18 billion, what's the matter with them? They should be giving more. In fact, I'm going to make them give $20 trillion. So as he makes up more numbers and then claims that everything is going to be great. This is what they don't want you to pay attention to.
Since we're not getting the official data from the government, we are looking to all these private sources. And Challenger Grain Christmas, which is an employment firm, put out, they always do these layoff numbers. This one was a doozy. So the most job cuts for any October in more than 2 decades, going back to 2003. Companies announced 153,000 about job cuts last month, which was almost triple the number during the same month last year. And the question is why? Well, if you go to the quote from Challenger in the release, I mean, they do mention disruptive technology and AI changing the landscape. They actually compare it to 2003 when the cell phone was invented. But you know, there are all sorts of reasons we have heard from companies lately about job cuts. And if you look at Target or UPS or Amazon, I mean, all of these companies have announced job cuts recently. Paramount, Skydance announcing recent job cuts as well. Starbucks, Delta Airlines, CarMax, Rivian Automotive. Yeah, some of them talk about, you know, technology. Amazon spoke about that, but a lot of them are just sort of restructuring and right-sizing their businesses after, you know, hiring a lot during COVID. But
we're facing challenges a la Paramount. You just have to take out a lot of structural costs if you can. Right?
Yeah, and that also comes from an acquisition. But the bottom line is it's adding up to a narrative where we're starting to be a little bit more concerned about the job market. We know the Fed is more concerned right now about the job market and the labor market, and we're just not getting the weekly, you know, initial jobless claims.
Record setting. I mean, this over decades worth of numbers that he's hitting. Can you imagine if this lying sumbitch in the White House wasn't in power and these things were happening? What type of narratives that this Republican Party would be talking about?